for the Australians. Namu is on and Paul is off. Walters through to Renouf now as Australia work it out, and he's lost the ball. Well, it doesn't matter whether it's breezy or not. The ball control has to be tightened by both sides.
Very physical stuff here in defence on Steve Renouf, especially by Ruben Wiki over the top.
Well, I think Gene Namu has pushed that one out, but it's not the first time in this game. 5 handling errors in the first 8 minutes, and the New Zealand side stacking the left-hand side, the winger coming in, Sean Hoppy. Plenty of numbers out there.
Namu across, picking up a second-man run. It was Ridge back for Barnett. Puts the hip into a mistimed tackle from Walters. And Renouf cleans up on the 20-metre line. Now Swan. Just outside the 10, Darren Smith doing the defence. Eru away for Jones. Jones inside for McCracken. And McCracken takes a buffeting from the Australian defence. And then they put him on the ground heavily, and Russell Smith says, play on. The player is on the ground in a lot of trouble. The Ridge has gone up and spoken to the referee.
Conversation there between Quentin Pongia and Gordon Tallis. I think Tallis was the man responsible for the tackle. Matthew Ridge having his say now to the Firebrand second rower. You see here McCracken, he's hit low by Johns. Tallis comes in, lifts him up, and it was an awkward drop. As he was being driven, actually bounced off Darren Britt. Still looked dangerous.
Steve Roach, a comment from you.
Yeah, the Kiwis are really trying to intimidate the Australians in defence. That's great play there from Gordon Tallis to get stuck into these Kiwis. That's what we need to do. Otherwise, they will intimidate us.
Kearney. McCracken is staying on. Vangana. And forced back by the Australian defence. They're 10 metres out. Right in the centre on the last. Pongia. Nice ball work. And then Wiki is put away. Turnover.
Well, the Kiwis opting not to kick on the last tackle there. Ruben Wiki tackled only a couple of metres out. I've got no doubt that should have been a penalty against Gordon Tallis.
I can't believe the referee didn't come in and say something, Peter. It happened in full view of him.
And I think the Kiwis might think, well, is that the way we're going to play tonight? Well, let's give it back to them.
Well, the thing was he was lifted above the horizontal, and that is a penalty.
What's the story on Robbie Paul, Steve?
Yeah, he got a knee in the groin. He's just trying to get his breath back. He'll be back on the 5'8".
McCracken putting a shoulder into Darren Britt. Avenging the incident a couple of minutes ago, partly. Redkey ruffled up there by McCracken again. The Parramatta forward is not happy. Walters pulled down. Halfway line by Iro. Jason Smith. And an offload for Britt. And again McCracken comes in. He's been a part of 3 tackles consecutively. Langer taking some steam out of it now with a well-judged kick, and Barnett brings it away. Renouf, and over the top Tallis. He's not slacking in off Tallis. Then he comes in over the top in a third-man tackle.
I know you could probably say it about most positions covered out there tonight, but what about the class on the wings? Hoppy and Barnett for New Zealand, class finishers, Brasher and Wendell Saylor, 2 outstanding ball runners. A great battle out there on the flanks. As New Zealand tackled 28 out, that's young Kalis playing the football, his first touch in tests.
Ball went forward apparently from the dummy half to Quentin Pongia.
Oh, it's good stuff though, very physical game. In the old style of School of Rugby League. Well, the crowd's enjoying it, we're enjoying it, bit of blood from Vangana's nose. And let's just hope that Russell Smith keeps control of the match.
So Australia, 6 tackles to be used on the opposition 30-metre line, and better than that now. Saylor played back for Lockyer. Kearns to the 20-metre line. Second tackle. Bad pass, and Redkey does all that he can. Third tackle. 30-metre line, Redkey's in a bit of trouble. Langer finding Renouf. They were right up in his face, though, the defence. Brasher, Langer, Britt, offload. Walters cuts out Langer, picks up Smith to the 20-metre line. Lockyer, now for Tallis. Tries to put a fend on. Desperate tackle by Kalis. There they are, 12 metres out on the last. Will they go to the air? Langer, dummies, Jinks, Lockyer, then Kearns, flick pass, out the back, through the legs of Thorne, and picked up by Hoppy for New Zealand.
Well, it's just not the machine-like qualities that we associate with the Australian team at the moment. A couple of passes going astray. Redkey had to clean up. Very rare that he goes straight to the sideline of his own accord. He's obviously picked up an injury, and Brad Thorne comes into the contest. And then that last tackle play, it just fell apart as New Zealand now, through McCracken, taking 32 out. Heavily involved, the second rower.
Paul leaping out of a tackle. Jones away for Iro. Calls the winger infield as Sailor puts him to ground a second time on the halfway. Kearney. Penalty to the Kiwis. McCracken has come off. And I notice that Steve Price is getting ready to come on for Australia.
Yeah, that was late in the tackle count. This is the Redkey clean-up. And you can see there, Jared McCracken has cleaned him up around the eye. I think there was a bit of blood, but it seemed to be more his back or his groin he was more concerned about. You can see from that action there, but the blood's certainly flowing up around the right eye. Good chance for New Zealand now. A little bit of fatigue in the Australian side at the moment.
Paul, Jones. And put down by the number 15, Iro, Tony. 30-metre line, Australia's end. Neither side able to capitalise on their chances through bad ball security. Although Paul Wharton got it right, it is torrid defence out there, and some of it quite spiteful. Lockyer put down on the 40-metre line. I would think that the bloke on the sideline will be loving this type of football. Big Roachy. Sailor. 9 minutes Australia, 5 the NZers. Thorne. Johns. Langer. Cuts Walters out. Tallis. Well, he did well there. Good juggle by Tallis under heavy pressure. Langer again. And the ball going high. Ridge underneath it. Taken down by the Australian 16, Steve Price, one of the Canterbury heroes. Poppy. Brasher and Price with Britt. Kalis. What a meteoric rise it's been for him. This is the young kid. He's lost the ball. There was a match at Brookvale this year, I think, held for an hour when he was taken away. We'll take a break.